Hello friends, I am Arpit and I am here with today's analysis. Today is 11th of December and we are going to deal with three very important topics which are in news. The first topic is the NCRB report on crimes in India. This was also a requested topic and this NCRB publishes every year this report, the Crimes in India report. It takes into account the details from all the state governments and also from the 53 metropolitan cities. A notable finding in this year's report is that the crimes have come down and the crime rate has also come down in India. But crimes like cybercrime and crimes against women, they have risen. This is something which is disturbing. So, we will study the details in this particular report. Now, the second topic is related to the first topic. We should also know the details of the National Crime Records Bureau, that is NCRB, which is publishing this report. It is a government agency under Ministry of Home Affairs, established in 1986. But what is the composition of this? What is the functions of this? Because UPSC can ask questions from here as well, because we saw last year's prelims paper where from very, I would say, less known, I would say, institutions or bodies, there were questions in prelims, like the home guards and all. Questions from there were being asked in prelims. So I'm trying my best to leave no stone unturned if any body is coming in front of me. Then the next piece of news, which is going to be the last topic for today, that is International Social Security Association. Now, this International Social Security Association has awarded ESIC, which is the body responsible for providing social security in India, Employee State Insurance Company or Employee State Insurance Corporation, which is responsible for providing social security in India. This has been awarded by the International Social Security Association. So, in this topic, first we'll understand what social security is. Second of all, we'll understand the details of ESIC. And third of all, we will also understand what International Social Security Association is, the details of this particular organization. So let's get started with the first topic. Now, the National Crime Records Bureau, a Government of India entity which is responsible for publishing this Crimes in India report every year. This year also, this report was published. Now, apart from this Crimes in India report, NCRB also publishes Prison Statistics India report. It also publishes a report on suicides happening in India. In this year's report on crime in India, NCRB has clearly stated that the crimes as well as the crime rate has reduced in India. Crime rate is the crimes happening per 1 lakh population. This is something which is a good news, but yes, this is followed by some bad news as well. The bad news is that the incidences of cybercrime are increasing, as well as the incidences of crime against women, they are increasing. This is something which is uncalled for. We are not, progressing on these domains or these fronts. Whereas we need to progress on these fronts as well. However, there are certain limitations also in this report. The NCRB report only takes into account the registered or reported crimes. The actual crimes happening, maybe they are not being reported or registered, they are not counted by NCRB. Second of all, it does not take into account the socio-economic dynamics of the crimes happening. And the third is that the prime, I would say, crime is only taken into account. Like, for example, if a person has, murdered someone, but before murdering, the person also raped that, person, the victim. So basically, this is a crime which involves two crimes, murder and rape. But the prime crime of among the two is murder. So murder will only be accounted by NCRB, rape will not be accounted. These are some shortcomings of the report. But this report has given a lot of insights into the crimes and the trend of crimes happening in the country. Every year it is released, and there are some learnings from it, and we get better and better every year. Like this year, we got better. Why? Because the crime rate and crime incidences have reduced in the country. This is the silver lining. So let's get started with the details of this report. The National Crime Records Bureau released its annual report on crime in India for the year 2022. The report is a compilation of data on a reported crime from across the country and provides the big picture of broad trends in crime registration. The keyword here is reported crime. What if the crime is happening and not being reported? That will not be taken into account. Apart from Crime in India report, NCRB publishes Prison Statistics India report. This is another report which is published by NCRB, but we are not going to discuss this report because presently this report, Crimes in India report, has been published. Now, sources of data for NCRB for publishing this report: Crime in India reports. Information is obtained from the police forces of 36 states and union territories, means 28 plus 8, 28 states and 8 UTs. Similar data are furnished for 53 cities with population exceeding 10 lakh, means the metropolitan cities. There were 53 metropolitan cities as per the 2011 census. Now, state level reporting is there, but city level reporting of these, I would say, metropolitan cities, 53 metropolitan cities, is also taken into account. Like, for example, I told you that the crimes against women have risen. And Delhi, which happens to be a metropolitan city, records the highest number of cases with respect to crimes against women. Delhi has been frequently termed as or defined as rape capital of India, at times rape capital of the world. The sexual offences cases against women are highest in Delhi. So metropolitan level, data is also taken into account. Now, the findings, if I talk about the findings, so the first finding is that decline in registration of cases, means reporting of cases, which simply signifies that the crime has come down. But really, does it signify? What is the reality? What if, the crimes are happening, but they are not being reported? And in this scenario, the crime is increasing, but since reported crimes are less, so this, report will find out that, the crimes are reducing. In 2022, a total of 58,24,946 cognizable crimes comprising 35,61,379 from Indian Penal Code crimes and 22,63,567 special and local laws crimes were registered. So total crimes 58,24,946, decline of 4.5% from the year 2021. Remember, we are talking about crimes in 2022. So in 2022, crimes were this much, which were 4.5% less than the crimes which happened in 2021. The crime rate has declined. The crime rate, or crimes registered per lakh population, has declined from 445.9 in 2021 to 422.2 in 2022. So means the registered crimes have also declined and the crime rate has also declined. So this can be considered as a silver lining. But yes, we should also keep into mind that these are registered crimes or reported crimes. What if crimes are happening and not being reported or not being registered? So that will lead you to, I would say, misinformation. The next is increase in crimes against women. Now this is something which is disturbing. It has registered an increase by 4% over 2021 numbers. 4,45,256 cases of crime against women were registered in 2022. The largest share of crimes against women under IPC sections was registered under cruelty by husband or his relatives, 31.4%. This talks about domestic violence. Now, if a question comes with respect to analyzing this particular law, the Domestic Violence Act 2005, you can use these data or you can use these statistics, which are the findings of National Crime Records Bureau. Means the laws are not bringing down domestic violence. Kidnapping and abduction of women, 19.2%. Assault on women with intent to outrage her modesty, 18.7%. Means these are kind of sexual offenses. So these three are the categories, means the categories or subcategories under crimes against women. But they have been rising. Another, I would say, tip here is that you can easily memorize this, that crimes against women has risen 4% by 4% since the last year. You don't need to memorize this figure 4,45,000. You can simply remember around 4.5 lakh, around 4.4 to 4.5 lakh crimes against women happen. Reporting of cybercrime increased significantly. Reporting of cybercrime increased significantly by 24.4 percentage points compared to 2021 to 65,893 cases. Around 64.8% of the registered cases were of fraud, followed by extortion and sexual exploitation, 5.2%. So, incidences of cybercrime has also increased. Now, rise in other types of crimes like against children, this also increased by 8.7%. Against senior citizens, risen by 9.3%. Against SC/STs, risen by 14%. Corruption cases, risen by 10.5%. Offences against state, UAPA sedition, Official Securities Act, this also risen by 8%. And murder, reduced by 2.6%. So these are the findings of National Crime Records Bureau, other kinds of crimes. Now, an increase in suicides cases. Suicidal cases also increased by 4.2%. So, very easy to memorize. Crimes against women increased by 4%. Suicide cases increased by around 4%, 4.2%. Total reported crimes or registered crimes declined by 4.5%. So the figures are, revolving around 4% only. So it can be easy for you to memorize. An increase of 4.2% was observed in suicides reported during 2022. These many suicides were reported as compared to 2021. Means 2021 there were less number of suicides. Now there were more number of suicides. Family problems other than marriage related problems were the cause of suicides. 31.7% of the suicide cases happened due to it. Then marriage related problems, 4.8%. Illness, 18.4%. have together accounted for 54.9%, roughly 55% of the suicides in the country during this year. The overall male to female ratio, males are committing more suicides, 71.8. Females are committing less suicide, 28.2. Now those students who are having sociology as an optional, you will study suicide as a topic in this unit 4, that is thinkers. So you can use these data over there also when it comes to, things related to India. Now, limitations in the report. There are 3 limitations in this report. The first limitation is data not reflective of actual occurrence. Means, actual occurrence of crime, if it is not being reported, then it will not be counted as a crime, but crime actually is happening. So, this is one such limitation. So, when reported crimes against women in Delhi rose significantly in the aftermath of 2012 bus gang rape case, it may have been a reflection of the increased awareness about need for registering the crimes. Means, what happened in Delhi 2012? We all know that Nirbhaya gang rape case happened, and after that, reporting of sexual crimes in Delhi increased. Just after that. Means, people became more aware, the females became or felt more empowered. Means that these crimes were happening before, but they were underreported. So similarly, this kind of situation can be there in the entire country. that crimes are happening, but they are underreported or not reported. Since they are not reported, the NCRB will not account them. So it is like this. Now, limitations due to principal offence rule. Now, principal offence rule is that rule in which only one crime is counted, irrespective of the fact that 2, 3, 4, 5, any crime is, how many number of crimes are committed by a single person. Like, for example, a person is involved in raping a woman and then murdering her. So that is rape and murder, two offenses. But since murder is a principal offense, so only murder will be counted, rape will not be counted. That again, undermines it. The NCRB follows the principal offense rule. This means that among the many offenses registered in a single FIR, the crime that attracts the most severe punishment is considered as the counting unit. That becomes the principal offense. Thus, murder with rape would be counted as murder, not rape, which would result in an undercounting of the crime or crime of rape. Then, socio-economic causative factors not captured. There are many causal factors like socio-economic factors, these are not captured by the NCRB in its report. The NCRB itself notes that socio-economic causative factors or reasons of crimes are not being captured by the Bureau, which actually makes this report, I would say, incomplete. So these reasons should also be included. Now, the National Crime Records Bureau. The National Crime Records Bureau is a Government of India entity working under the Ministry of Home Affairs, responsible for analyzing the crime data happening all across the country. This body was established, in 1986 on the recommendation of National Police Commission, which was formed in 1977, and, an expert committee which was formulated by the Ministry of Home Affairs itself in 1985. This particular bureau, the National Crime Records Bureau, functions for the government by collecting and disseminating information, that is crime related information. So this is basically a very, very important, I would say, entity for tackling the crimes in the country. It talks about crimes related to sexual offenses, related to cyber crime, related to any other, I would say, crime dealing with or mentioned in the IPC or the local laws. So let's get into the details of this particular bureau. The NCRB is a government agency which is headquartered in New Delhi, established in 1986 and is part of Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India. It was set up on the recommendation of National Police Commission 1977 and a task force in 1985, which was formulated by the Ministry of Home Affairs itself. It is responsible for collecting and analyzing crime data as defined by Indian Penal Code and special and local laws. Functions. It also serves as repository of such information to aid investigators in tracing crimes and criminals. So investigators can use this as a tool to trace the crimes and criminals. It also acts as a national warehouse for fingerprint records of Indian and foreign criminals and assists in locating interstate criminals through fingerprint research. Now, a few days ago, I think 1 or 2 days ago only, we talked about NAFIS. National Repository for Fingerprints. Something like this was there. That is also under NCRB. NCRB was entrusted with responsibility for monitoring, coordinating and implementing the Crime and Criminal Tracking Network and Systems CCTNS, which was projected in the year 2009. So in this system, the information of all the criminals in the country was noted down in a digital platform, and it is now made shareable with the security agencies. In 2017, NCRB launched the National Digital Police Portal. This portal allows police officers to look for a criminal or suspect on the CCTNS database and gives citizens with services such as online complaint filing, etc. etc. So basically, it is nothing but a digital public infrastructure for the security or the police forces. So NCRB was responsible for developing that. Next is the Bureau has also been entrusted to maintain the National Database of Sexual Offenders, NDSO. Share it with states, UTs on regular basis. NCRB has also been designed or designated as Central Nodal Agency to manage technical and operational functions of online cybercrime reporting portal. So there's this online cybercrime reporting portal where you can go and file your complaints. That has also been developed and managed by NCRB. The NCRB has also launched CyTrain, that is CyberTrain, an online training of different stakeholders in cybercrime investigations and prosecutions. NCRB also compiles and publishes national crime statistics, that is crime in India, accidental deaths and suicides, and also prison statistics. So we've seen the crime in India report, accidental deaths and suicides. We did not see, but yes, mention of suicides is there in crime in India report. And we also saw that prison statistics report is another report published by NCRB. Not gone into the details of it. So NCRB also assists various states in the capacity building in the areas of information technology, CCTNS, fingerprints, network security, and digital forensics through its training centers in Delhi and Kolkata. So this is all, the details, or I would say the important details about NCRB. And from here, if any question is being posed by UPSC in prelims, I hope you will be able to answer that. This is completely factual knowledge, but yes, these facts are equally important for the UPSC examination. Now, this International Social Security Association has awarded the Employees State Insurance Corporation as this award was International Social Security Association Vision 0 2023 means no person will be left out of the ambit of social security. ESIC is trying to reach this vision by 2030. Now, what is social security? Social security is the kind of security which is given to the citizens or the public. And this security actually works for them in times of emergencies or exigencies. Examples of social security: insurance, like medical insurance you have. So if there's this medical expense which has been there on the cards, and you are insured, so the insurance company will take care of the expenses. The pensions, you are old age, you have stopped working because of your age. Now what will be your source of income? The pensions will be your source of income. You have done investments while you were working in those years in the pension schemes. Now these pension schemes are paying you off. That is social security. You get food aid from the government. That is social security. So social security can be in the form of cash, can be in the form of, I would say, aid, but that helps you to maintain yourself or to live a dignified life. That is social security. So, the ESIC has been awarded this award that, this ESI is having Vision 0 by 2030. So this, aims to, include everyone in this net. So let us look into the details of this. Recently, the Employee State Insurance Corporation bagged the International Social Security Association's ISSA's Vision 0 2023 award in the recently held 2023 World Congress on Safety and Health at Work. This happened in Australia. Now about ESIC. It is a statutory corporate body set up under ESI Act 1948. It is responsible for the administration of ESI scheme. Headquarters, New Delhi. ESI scheme provides insurance, pension to the state employees. Composition of ESIC. The chairman of ESIC, Union Minister of Labour. Again, we talked about NCRB as a body, the details of it we should know. We should also know the details of this body, ESIC, because you never know. UPSC, unpredictable. So, it is very simple. Again, factual, but yes, we should know it. The central government appoints a Director General as CEO of this ESIC. Chairman is Minister of Labour. Then, the ESIC comprises members representing crucial interest groups, including employers, employees, central and state governments, representatives of the parliament, and medical profession. Now, standing committee of this ESIC is the executive body of ESIC. Now, who is heading this executive body? I would say Secretary, Ministry of Labour, is the chairman of the standing committee. The standing committee has the power to administer the affairs of ESIC and perform functions of ESIC under its overall control and superintendence. Means this ESIC is kind of a body who's having this ESIC's standing committee, which is the executive body of ESIC. This executive body is controlled by the members of ESIC. No, it cannot do anything without the permission of the members of ESIC. The Director General of ESIC is also an ex officio member of the Standing Committee. The Chairman of Standing Committee is Secretary, Ministry of Labour. Okay. The other members of the Standing Committee are nominated and elected among the members of ESIC. The nominated members include 3 members of the central and state governments, 3 members representing employers and employees, and 1 member representing parliament and the medical profession. So this is basically the nominated members of standing committee. Now about ISSA, that is International Social Security Association. You should also know about this. It is the principal international institution bringing together social security agencies and organizations of the world. So ESIC is that agency, or I would say organization in India, which is responsible for delivering social security to the people. Aim is to promote dynamic social security as a social dimension in a globalizing world by supporting excellence in social security administration. Founded in 1927, and it is a body under the International Labour Organization, ILO. ILO is a specialized agency under UN. It has over 320 member institutions from over 160 countries. Headquarters, Geneva, at ILO office only. It provides access to information, expert advice, business standards, practical guidelines and platforms for members to build and promote dynamic social security systems worldwide. The vision of dynamic social security provides a framework for ISSA's action. Now, social security is very, very important. If we see, the world, as development happens, a population aging also happens. These two phenomena are interconnected with each other. Countries all across the world, like Japan and other developed countries like the Scandinavian countries and all, they are suffering from population aging. And in those countries, social security is a must. Social security, which will help the old age population, by giving them constant source of income in the forms of pension, by giving them support in the medical aid domain as well. Now, underdeveloped and developing countries like India also need social security because, majority of the population is involved in the informal sector. Around 91% of our workforce is employed in the informal sector. So, social security for them also becomes very, very important. The government has also taken certain steps, like it has launched this Atal Pension Yojana, various health insurance schemes like Ayushman Arogya Mandir, which was earlier known as Ayushman Bharat, all these have been launched by the government. So, probably ESIC has rightly got this award, and hopefully more awards like this to be followed in the times to come. And with this, we have ended today's session. I will now be meeting you tomorrow with more such informative news pieces. Till then, you guys very well know what to do. Keep studying, keep reading, keep writing, and most importantly, keep revising. Namaste. Jai Hind.